فلا هادي له. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واخشوا يوما لا يجزي والد عن ولده ولا مولود هو جاز عن والده شيئا إن وعد الله حق فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. My dear respected listeners, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent us into this world and created this world a place of deception and a place of test, a place of challenge. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in His book, in His noble words, that لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have created a human being. The human is always in a struggle. They are constantly struggling. Nobody will find perfect peace and tranquility in this life as long as they're in this world, because this is the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it. But all of these things that trouble us, that challenge us during this worldly life, they are much smaller and much trivial compared to the real exam, the real test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has warned us about. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, out of His mercy, sent a perfect example for us to show how you can become successful in that exam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so kareem, so merciful, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told us what the questions are going to be on that day. What the questions are going to be on that day. The first and the foremost thing that Allah demands from us, on which there is no compromise, is to believe in oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without which there is no question of anybody becoming successful that day. Alhamdulillah, we are all Muslims. We have all believed in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. But the story does not end there, as most of us would sometimes be confused. That if we are Muslims, we are for sure going to enter into Jannah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to use His mercy upon us, and we are going to be successful for sure. The problem is that if we only restrict ourselves and are satisfied with our belief in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and we think that that is sufficient for us and we do not have to do anything more, or we have to do it when we like to do it, otherwise we will not do it and we will still be fine. The Prophet ﷺ has said such a person, ajiz, somebody who is very foolish, and somebody who is, the Prophet ﷺ has called this person, that this person is such that he atba'a nafsahu hawaha, he follows the desires of his nafs, he follows his lower desires, his inferior desires. And what does he do? So he's obedient to his nafs, but tamanna ala Allah, he places his hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such a stupid, such a foolish thing to do, that you are following someone else's command, but you are hoping, you are placing your hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ has said that this person is a foolish person, a stupid person. The first part of this hadith is, in contrast, the person who is wise in the eyes of the Prophet ﷺ, in the eyes of the person who knows what Allah wants, who knew what Allah expects out of His slaves, what is going to get them into Jannah, what is going to protect them from hellfire. He had the perfect knowledge of that. The Prophet ﷺ has said, a wise person is one who holds back his nafs. Man dana nafsahu, someone who controls his desires, and wa amila, he works for the akhirah. He works for what is going to come after maut. Amila lima ba'd al-maut. What is going to come after death. So my dear respected brothers, something that we all have to do, and something that there is no escape from, is this reality that we are going to die one day. Even the kuffar cannot run away from this reality. They cannot dare to say that nobody is going to die or someone is not going to die. Everybody believes that they have to die. And we believe that we have to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is ayn al-mafar. Where is an escape? There is no escape. There is no escape. So my dear respected brothers, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us the question paper. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling us, and it's not even a paper. It's not even a paper. We sometimes think, these exams that we take in this world, there is an exam that we take. Of course, if we do not do good in that exam, there's consequences. There's consequences. But that exam we are doing on our own. Nobody, when we came to the United States here, we went to high school, a unique concept that we learned that we had never heard of back home was that your grades are a private thing. Your grades are a private thing. In our schools back there in Pakistan, what they would do, if somebody fails, the whole class would know. And they would publicly shame and humiliate one. Like you are such a lousy student that you have failed. But here we learned that your grades are a private thing. Even the teacher is not allowed by rules and law to let your grades go into anyone else's hands. If you're beyond the age of 18, even your parents cannot know of your grade. They cannot write home about your grades, even if you fail in your class. It is the student who is responsible for their grades. Only they know about what they are doing and how they are doing. And the shame is only carried within you. But that exam, my dear respected brothers, is such that there will be public shaming, and publicly everybody, if a person is sinner and is failing that exam that day, he will be shamed publicly. They will be humiliated. They will be humiliated. These people, na'udhu billah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, who are very respectful in this world, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, of a high standard, living a high standard life in this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. They will be in a wretched state that day. They will be in a very poor state that day. Everybody will get to see what was their reality. What was their reality? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. There will be ulama who will be called before the public, and they will be said that your ilm was only for people. You were doing all of it to show off to people. You will be thrown headlong into fire. There will be people who would have spent millions in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They'll be called before everyone else and publicly shamed that you did it for the people. Go seek your reward from people. Today we have nothing for you. Be thrown headlong into hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. But what comfort, what consolation do we have when we have these hadiths of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has clearly warned us that you are all going to die. You are all going to stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are all going to be answerable for what you have done. So the Prophet ﷺ has warned us, the Prophet ﷺ has clearly told us that a wise person is not somebody who makes a lot of money. A wise person is not, a successful person is not who builds big homes. A wise person is not who drives a very good car, who have 6-digit salary. No, my dear respected brothers. A wise person is who the Prophet ﷺ is telling us two things. Number one, they hold themselves back. They hold themselves back. They do not give in to their desires. They uphold the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the wise person. And they are constantly worried about what they are sending forth for the akhirah. What is going to come after the death. In this world, a person may live on the street. A person may not have a house. A person may not have a meal to fill their stomach. But if they come out successful on the day of judgment, my dear spirited brothers, they are the real successful people. They are the real successful people. Those who live great lives in this world, but they fare out poorly on the day of judgment, they are going to lose out. They are going to lose out. The hardships of the akhirah, the hardships of that day alone, the day of judgment, will be such, may Allah protect us, will be such that a person will forget any and every comfort that they ever had in this world. Any and every comfort that they had. My dear respected brothers, the Prophet ﷺ has told us numerous things to prepare for that day. The first and the foremost, on which there is no compromise, is Iman. To believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prophethood of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the finality of the prophethood of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There can be no Nabi in whatever shape or form they want to claim after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even Isa alayhi salam, when he's going to come to this world, he's going to come as an ummati of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not as a Nabi, not with a new Sharia. The Prophet ﷺ has also told us about other things. One famous hadith that we keep on repeating here is that Prophet ﷺ said, أول ما يحاسب به العبد يوم القيامة الصلاة. After you have believed in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, the first requisite that is placed upon one, and the first requisite that will be asked first on the day of judgment is your salah. Is how careful, how particular, how mindful were you about your salah, about standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your own good. This is all for our own good. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his sharia is so beautiful that everything that we have, everything that has been given, everything that we've been asked to do, it contains a benefit of the akhirah, but it is also the best thing for our world. It's also the best thing for our world. So if somebody comes to the masjid and they are particular about their salah, their mind finds peace. Their mind does not get indulged into this world to the level of sickness, to the level where it is unhealthy. You keep on breaking your schedule during the day. People say that we have a schedule, we cannot come to the masjid. My brother, this is the purpose of the salah. This is the purpose of the masjid. This is the purpose of the adhan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to break your schedule. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want you to get indulged in your schedules so much that you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if you do that, then you are yourself handing yourselves over to this world, forgetting your reality. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful, so kareem, that He has made it necessary for you to break that schedule and come to the masjid 5 times and stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forget everything else. Raise your hands as if you've pushed everything behind and stand before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear respected brothers, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that a person who's asked about salah that day, if their salah comes out fine, all the other deeds will also come out fine. Your deal is done. The one thing that you should care about after iman is your salah. You take care of your salah, everything else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put in order itself. And we experience this in this world. We experience this. You become particular about this salah, this one thing in your life, and this is easy. Ad-deenu yusr. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us, this deen, this sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very easy, but it will be enforced. Sometimes people confuse these two things. That deen is easy. Rules are easy in their own self, but they will be enforced very strictly. Enforcement is going to be very strict. If you are to act upon that rule, that command in itself is very easy. It only takes 5 minutes to complete your salah, even the longest of those. But its enforcement will be very strict. Allah will not tolerate it. To do that action is easy, but if you give up that action, Allah will not tolerate that. Allah will not accept that. So my dear respected brothers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, has told us that if on that day, the first question that is going to be about salah, that comes out, your salah comes out corrupted, your salah comes out deficient, your salah comes out not up to the mark, all the other things will automatically go wrong. All the other things you can already lose hope. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. My dear respected brothers, these are things that are easy in this world if we just have a little concern. But on the day of judgment, they have a lot of weight, they have a lot of value. So these easy things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for us, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the capacity, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the spirit to actually value them. Inshallah, we'll keep talking about the day of judgment and the things that are going to come and the questions the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned in different hadiths. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us action, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the speaker the action upon those things, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant the listeners the action upon those things. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen, and make us all successful. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.